The reputation of Marie Antoinette was one which was ruined during the French Revolution, and she was a woman who was hated and reviled by the people of her nation. For many, she was an ignorant and pompous woman who disregarded the feelings of the people of France, as she would spend huge sums of money on her lavish lifestyle and on furniture for the royal palaces, all whilst the people were starving. But there was a scandal that erupted around 1784 involving a diamond necklace, and it became known as the Diamond Necklace Affair, and the Queen's reputation had already been tarnished, and this did nothing to help. In the eyes of many, this event further damaged Marie Antoinette, and she would in the years following go to her execution on the guillotine. But what is the affair of the diamond necklace? In 1772, King Louis XV, the grandfather-in-law of Marie Antoinette, decided to make Madame de Barry, a mistress of the king, a special gift. This was a diamond necklace, and it would cost 2 million livres, which in today's money would be worth around $20 million. This was a huge sum of money, and he asked Parisian jeweller Charles Auguste Baumer and Paul Bassage to create this diamond necklace, which would be the grandest in existence. The jewellers took many years to do this, and a huge amount of money to pick the correct diamonds and stones, but in the years doing this, King Louis XV died, and with this, King Louis XVI came onto the throne, and this was Marie Antoinette's husband, and he banished Madame de Barry from the royal court. It was said of the diamond necklace that a row of 17 glorious diamonds, as large almost as filberts, a 3-wreathed festoon, and pendants enough, simple pear-shaped, multiple star-shaped, or cluster amphorous, encircle it around a very queen of diamonds. But the jewellers hoped to make some money on this piece, and they hoped that the new Queen of France, Marie Antoinette, would buy it. And the new king, Louis XVI, offered it as a present to his wife, but she refused. She said that, "We have more need of 74 ships than necklaces," and she turned this down. And others thought that she turned this offer down as she disliked Madame de Barry, who it was initially intended for. However, the jewellers then tried to sell the necklace to Marie Antoinette again in 1781 as a gift for the birth of Louis Joseph, the Dauphin, but yet again she refused to do anything about it. However, a con artist and trickster, known as Joan de Valois St. Remy, then came up with a plan to gain the necklace, to get wealthy and wield power over the royals. She was a descendant of an illegitimate son of Henry II of France, and she was living on a small pension granted to her by the king at the time. In the March of 1785, Joan became the mistress of the Cardinal de Rohan, a former ambassador of the Austrian court, and of course Marie Antoinette was a former Austrian princess. The cardinal did not like Marie, and he was known for spreading rumours about her, and he would inform her mother about her behaviour at the French court. However, the cardinal at the time was trying to regain the favour of the queen to become a minister of her husband, King Louis XVI. But Joan then entered the court, and she was received by the queen, and she enjoyed her company. But then the cardinal tried to regain the queen's favour through Joan. But this began a period of time where the queen and cardinal were writing to each other, and notes were passed through Joan, and the tone of these letters was warm and cordial. The cardinal, however, was convinced that Marie Antoinette the queen was in love with him, and he began to fall in love with her. He begged his mistress to arrange a night-time interview with the queen, and this meeting then occurred in the August of 1784. In the garden of the Palace of Versailles, Cardinal de Rohan believed that he met the queen, but he instead met with a prostitute who looked similar to the queen, and Rohan gifted the woman a rose, and playing the role of the queen, the prostitute said she would forgive the cardinal, but Joan was defrauding the cardinal and making off with money. The jewellers who had made the necklace then began to consider selling the diamond necklace to Joan. She pretended to be the queen and sent a number of letters to the cardinal, and she asked the cardinal to buy the necklace. The letters were signed Marie Antoinette de France, but on the 21st of January 1785, Joanne told the cardinal that Marie wanted to buy the necklace, but she did not want to purchase this at the time as the public was suffering heavily financially. Because of this, she said that she wanted the cardinal to buy it for her and then secretly pass this on. The price of 2 million livres was negotiated, and he claimed he had the authorization and permission of the Queen for the purchase, and Rowan then, having brought the necklace, took it to Joanne's house. Then a man who was said to have been a valet of the Queen came to get this, and then the diamond necklace was picked apart, and the stones were then sold on the black market of London and Paris by Madame Joanne. However, when the time came to pay for this, Joanne presented the cardinal's notes, and Bohema, the jeweller, went straight to the Queen and claimed he had been scammed. The Queen said she knew nothing about this and that she did not order the necklace. But the controversy around this incident then came to a fruition, as in August of 1784, whilst the court was awaiting the King and Queen, the cardinal, who was officiate, was taking to the King and the Queen and other prominent politicians to explain himself. He showed the letter signed Marie Antoinette de France, and the cardinal was then arrested and he was sent to the royal prison of the Bastille. Within 3 days later, Joanne would be arrested, and she had managed to destroy most of the evidence. The police also arrested the prostitute in the scandal and other persons who forged letters. The Pope was hearing what had happened, and he was furious, and he wanted his cardinal to be judged by himself, not the Parlement de Paris. Joanne de la Motte was condemned to whipping and branding with the letter V for voleuse or thief on each shoulder, and she was sentenced to life imprisonment in a prison for prostitutes. She would escape from prison after a number of months, but there was a lot of public interest in the scandal and the trial, and the actions of the Queen were not commented on, and the trial found that Marie Antoinette was blameless. Many people in France, though, believed that the Queen had used this as a way of trying to get her hands on the diamond necklace rather cheaply, and that she had tried to scam her way into getting this hugely expensive piece at a time where the people were starving. The diamond necklace affair discredited the monarchy in the eyes of the French people for years before the French Revolution broke out, and the popularity of Marie Antoinette was at an all-time low. There was a lot of gossip made about her, and there were many pieces of literature and pamphlets, and these began to circulate, criticising her. Her reputation with the French people was destroyed, and she would not really, following this, appear in public. Her reputation would never recover, and her history of spending huge sums of money excessively had also caused problems, but this scandal was the final stray. The French people had the evil figure they wanted to hate, especially as they were suffering. She would never be able to get rid of the reputation she had for being a woman who would try to concoct an extravagant scam to get her hands on one of the most expensive pieces of jewellery in history. It would be in the October of 1793 that, following the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette would be condemned and executed on the guillotine, and many flocked to see the end of the woman who they hated a huge amount. Thank you for watching, and to support, please subscribe to Her Remarkable History. Thank you.